Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. I am out here today on my own. I noticed that I'm being removed from Facebook for on a couple of channels out there, but that's all right. We're still good. We're still good. I don't know what happened to those streams, but if they're not out there, that's fine. We're gonna continue to move on. I can share them later on after I get off back to Facebook on those two channels that didn't show up today, but we're live. I see Instagram out there. I'm looking at everything else. You know, I get on this airway every once in a while, but most of the time when I get in this space called sit in your space, um, I just talk to black people. I talk to black people in this space, and I created it so I could do that. I created it so I could express myself a little bit better without having anybody else involved in it. My thoughts may not be their thoughts, but this particular where I'm at right now is my space. And as I get involved in this, I want you to listen to the words, as people say, listen to the words coming out of my mouth, because I'm gonna say some things today that's probably gonna piss some people off. When I say piss some people off, I'm gonna piss some people off. And the real reason why I say that is simply because if you follow me, you know that I'm a big Jasmine Crockett fan. I don't BS around about Jasmine Crockett. Not that she's a relative of mine, not that she's a person that I know, but I don't like when people play other people and then expect people to just line up. I don't like when people play politics to make a point. And I will always say this: at what cost? Last night I'm finished with it on that platform. This is the other platform. I know it's got me whitewashed, so I can't show it. But I'm finished with it on our Tuesday nights platform. We established that. But to get up this morning, to get up today in my own city, to see something like this, let me tell y'all something. This right here, this ain't about community. This ain't about performance trying to help us get better. This is a prop. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why it's a prop, because I was so mad. Let me tell you the reason why I was mad. I was so mad because it happened in the city that I live in. And I know the establishment. I done bought food from the establishment. I don't know the person personally. But it's like they picked a black establishment that sold soul food that was in the neighborhood in the city where I stay, named Mickey's Soul Food. And it ain't, I don't have nothing against Mickey's. I'm gonna be honest with you. But here's what I do hate. I hate when they use black people, black businesses, black churches, whatever black person they can put out there to sell a story on. I hate that. I almost wish they would just walk in the city with those same cameras and those same lights and walk up to a black person and get an honest opinion, then set up a program where black people look like a bunch of dummies. So what they call them within cities, see, this is the other part of politics that, and I know I got to show. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got to get this out of my system before I can even go into my show. And this is the reason why, because when they call it politics, or everybody does it. Everybody don't go to black people to get their vote after they then basically told them they didn't need it during the primaries. I'm gonna let that sit with you for a minute, because when you say you don't need it, don't come back and act like you can just get on board. You can just get a group of people on board with your program later on, because when you walked over them, you didn't care. Oh, you might say, well, Ron, you just stuck on one particular candidate. No, I'm not. I'm stuck on a system of manipulation that the Democrats and the Republicans use to get your attention. It may be focused on James Tallarico because he was the candidate at that time that they did it with. And if you don't understand politics from that level, it's hard for you to cast a vote. Me and Pastor Regan last night, we looked at it. It was 27% Republicans, 27% Democrats, and 45% people that was undecided or they were independents. And I'm a person of belief that 45% that's left on the table is some of them that did some research and got smarter, and they realized that they wasn't a Republican or a Democrat. Or they just didn't make up their mind. But stunts like this one doesn't help. Because either you're going to show up in a black restaurant like he did, or you're going to show up in a black church. I guarantee you one of them are next on his campaign trail before the elections. You if you're black and you look like me, and today I'm talking to black people because I know that some of the others identify, but I'm just saying today I'm talking to black people. And I want to be clear when I say this. You don't take a black person and set them up for failure. You don't take a black person and set them up for failure. You don't take a national campaign organization and give it to one person because you feel that strategy will work. But what you forgot is that the person that was behind, the person that was running against that person was black, had earned her steps to where she was. Earned. See that word earn means something. To most people, it means that you step by step throughout your life, that you made steps to get to where you are. You made plans. You follow the agenda. Your agenda probably was a little bit harder than other people because you couldn't fake it. You went to schools that like HBCUs. You went back to get your lawyer's degree. But you can't fake the color of your skin. See, when people are black and they've been held down for so long, you want somebody to represent you. And it just so happened that how she was representing people was facts, but they didn't like the presentation of the package. They wasn't ready for that. And I said I wasn't gonna go into this, but I'm gonna tell you it. I don't even know if I'm gonna get to my topic today. And I don't care what the YouTube videos or anything else. I don't care what they say about it. If people pay attention to me or if they don't pay attention to me. But here's what I'm gonna stand on today. I'm gonna stand on principle. I'm not gonna let anybody just walk over a young sister that's trying to do what's right. And now they're trying to hold her accountable for not endorsing this person, not going on the campaign trail with this person, not doing what they want her to do. Is basically, we had a term for it, but I'm gonna try to keep this PG today. Because if we're going to support our youngsters growing up, what are we saying when we don't support somebody like her that's did all the right things? What are we saying when we don't support somebody like Kamala Harris that's did all the right things? Punch the right tickets, overqualified in some areas, but you held her accountable for her personal life. And if you're going to hold her at that standard, Kamala Harris, at that standard, why didn't you hold a man that's in office at that same standard that you want to give her? Why is it that Democrats are not calling out him like the Republicans and people downline called out her, Kamala Harris? So when you look at Jasmine Crockett, which is down running for Congress, and the man basically didn't like what she was saying because she was calling out his false behavior, and she was calling it out through truths and facts, and she was able to back it up. She was a lawyer. But I'm gonna tell you something, and I gotta be honest with you, because this is sitting in your space, and this for black people. It's sitting in your space for black people, and I'm gonna tell you something, black men, I'm gonna call you out. Because when you can't vote for somebody that looks like you, that person doesn't have the problem. You're the problem. When you want to hold somebody accountable for what they did out of office, not what they did while they was present in office, like you did Kamala Harris, and what you would had more of a conversation about in the barbershops than what she actually did during her political career. Oh, it was all right, as long as she never ran for office or the highest office in the land. It was okay. She was a good senator. That sounds like, you know what it sounds like? I'm gonna be honest with you. Sounds like they was a good old boy. That boy over there, he's a good boy, man. He does this and he does that, but he's a good old boy. You know, if you need him to do something, I'll release him so he can go do something for you. That's what you sound like. That's what you sound like. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't buy into that. But this thing right here, I don't know how much time I got to talk about this. This was just one of the photos. And I'm gonna tell you about this photo because see, you can post a photo, but when you know that comments are coming behind that photo and you block them out on Facebook where can't nobody make a comment, oh no, that's a game. That's not fair to everybody because you post pictures and you think that people are supposed to follow those pictures and they're not supposed to have comments. Well, I'm going to let you know we all are adults here. And the real reason why I'm looking at my computer and I'm looking at the things that's flashing up is because people make comments outside of that media that's out there. And sometimes it's on my phone, sometimes it comes on my computer because people know who I am in the media and how long I've been doing this. I didn't just pop up yesterday. I've been doing this for a while. But when something cooks my goose, as y'all like to say, the goose is cooked and I'm fired up and I'm ready to go because I had left this last night and I said I wasn't going to say anything else about it. But when you come to my city and you take a seat at a table with some black people, I don't even know if they live in Pearland. You didn't say that they lived in Pearland, but this was this morning, so I don't know when this particular photo op took place. But if you wanted to keep it real, it's a way to keep it real. Just leave the comments open to people to make comments about where he's at. Leave it open to people to make comments about what's going on. Leave it open just like any other post. Don't have your team set it up where people don't put comments down there based on your pictures. You was proud enough to sit down there in that black business. And it's a black business. It's been a black business for a long time. She has been in business for a long time. Maybe they should ask you a question. Do you know the owner of this restaurant? You probably would say, "Oh, that's kind of cringy. That's cringy." No, but she passed away. Bet you didn't know that. Mickey's the actual Mickey person that was over it passed away. What you're dealing with is her. I think her kids right now. And I did that little bit of history. You think your team did that? No, no, they want that photo op. And this is, I don't know, and I'm not calling out people, but I want to know who the guy in the brown suit is, because we have people within the political system, and I done heard it used before. I done heard the term used. They call themselves kingmakers. So if you want to come to the city, any city across America, and you want to get the black vote, you go to these kingmakers and you ask them, where should I go, and where should I first approach, or how should we go about doing this? And who's not saying? Wait a minute, let me get this straight. I don't know that black guy in the brown suit, but I did call his name. But I like to clarify so we have facts when you come back to me. Somehow those people end up getting a check for pointing the person in the right direction where all the black people hang out. Pointing the person in a direction and making them sit down, and it looks like a great seat. But every time I look at this picture, I see something different. As a matter of fact, I want to bring it up so I can tell you some of the reasons why I got mad at it. Because I need to describe it to you when I seen it. And it just kind of, you just don't know what it did to me. And I can tell you based on a pattern that's out there. I got my computer. I didn't bring up the pictures because I had it here. But every time I look at one of these pictures, that especially the one that's up right now, I want you to see what's going on. Because most people don't look at this part of the picture. You see that camera in the background? You see how the lighting is pointing back to the group that's on the table? That's key. And let me tell you the reason why that's key. Because what they're showing you is not on that side of the restaurant. It's directly behind them. So they had to take a person and put them on the opposite side of that photo op and make sure that up in that right-hand corner up there, that they had Mickey's business up there. They had Mickey's business sign in the photo op. That's just how important it was. The lighting is already there. See that guy with that big old light to my left as I look at the picture? You see the girl with the camera? You see the person standing next to her, which is directing what's going on? They figured out that when they was in that particular position that they didn't have the Mickey sign in there. And you say, well, Ron, you kind of hard on this guy. You don't give him a fair chance. I'm gonna go back and rename this podcast. I'm gonna save the other one for another day. And don't think that one wasn't strong, because it showed you a pattern of how we got to the place that we are as black people. But see, that was the past. I got to deal with the present because of this situation. And I got to break it down to where my people can understand it. So when they get it, they know what to do with it. So here we go. That's the first picture that's out there. Oh, no. I'm going to let you know, because you know me, I don't like going down rabbit holes without no information. This was in my city. Look at this next picture. You see the same thing that they did last time? Look in the right-hand corner as I look at the picture. Mickey's Cafe. They made sure that was in the picture. They made sure that they got some black people in the picture with him. They made sure that they went out of their way to create this post where it could make him look good in the light of black people. You know, I'm going to tell you another reason why this upsets me. Because you can go anywhere in the city of Pearland, and it's rare that you'll see a black person walking down the street. But you can go 2 miles toward the city of Houston, and you're right in Third Ward, Texas. Third Ward, Texas. Third Ward is a ward within the city of Houston. And I guarantee you could have found any black person out there that was on those streets. Let me just take this a little bit further so you can understand. On Almeda Drive in the city of Houston, it's a lot of black owned restaurants up and down that street. Doing what, let me see, about 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it's people looking for food. They were black, they looked like me. How come you didn't take your cameras down there and stand them up and have him interview with some of those people? You know why? Because the optics don't look good. Because the optics, and he couldn't, if he could handle that pressure, if he could handle it, he would have. And I made that post, the post before that one, I made this morning on my Facebook page. See, because those first two photos came from the restaurant where supposedly he went into and he sat down, and if you look in the first photo, he even had some dessert in front of him. You know what Mickey's soul food is? I just called it out. Soul food. So you know that it was a photo op because it was set up. He probably didn't even go down the buffet line. I'm not saying that he has to eat it, because a lot of stuff that other people eat, I don't eat either. But it was some oxtails, probably was a pan of chitlins on the line, some sweet potatoes. I get that all the time. Sweet potatoes from there. Green beans. If he was a vegetarian, there was stuff on the line that he could, they'll make up for you a vegetarian plate. But you know what he sit down there with? A dessert. A dessert. Okay, my mind is not deceiving me, but when you go to a soul food restaurant like Mickey's, you might be trying to make another statement. See, because you've already pissed off the cattle farmers out there in Texas, and beef is almost just as important as oil here in the state of Texas. Let's go down memory lane for a minute. You said you was a vegetarian, right? You said that something about beef. I don't forgot what it is. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said something about meat. You know what they didn't do here in the state of Texas for you? Think about this. I need you to digest this for a minute. A black lady that don't even live in the state of Texas, probably known around the world, except for a couple of spots that she went into in Europe. But in America, if she walks in any doors, she's known. If she shows up with her buddies, she's definitely known. They challenged Oprah Winfrey on just making a statement on TV during her show about the state and cattle. Do you know she came down here? She had to set up shop to do her show from here because she made that same statement that you did, and you don't think it's a double standard? See, people forget. People forget, and as they forget, you know what they don't check the boxes. They let stuff go, and as they let stuff go, if you don't recall your history, that's the reason why people can be fooled by props, by people put into positions to just be props. I don't know what time this went on, but I know I seen it the first thing this morning. I don't know the operating hours of Mickey's or whatever, but I would ask them, was it within the operating hours of Mickey's? Operating. Notice what I say. I say out before Mickey's open. I didn't say after Mickey's was closed. I say within the operating hours of Mickey's. because during the day, black people do patronize that area. People that live within the city of Pearland, people. Mm, okay, let me, let me let me put myself on the screen real quick, because I'm gonna take you to that last picture in just a minute. But when you start to see pictures, when you start to see patterns, I want to frame this in a way where everybody can understand it. See, AI is not smart. What AI does is establish patterns, repeat patterns. AI can go out there and read 10 times the amount of information probably within a few minutes, and then come back and establish a pattern, and then give you an answer to your question and tell you where they got it from within a period of time. See, so what those pictures establish is a pattern of a candidate not wanting to engage black people in the regular audience. If you don't believe me, I'm gonna share something with you, and I don't mess around. I use a lot of GPTs. One of the GPTs I used this morning after I seen this mess, I was trying to get this picture built on. I went to that GPT source and I made one statement. Now I'm gonna tell you what that statement was so you can understand how this is just a photo op. See, because all that technology that they put into that picture, those lights, those cameras, and all the rest of that, when James Tallarico was just a state representative, there's no pictures of a black person with him on social media or any source. So when I asked them to do this picture and I made the statement that there's no source or evidence, I had went through 2 or 3 different sources that I used to get my information for online. And I know that when I came back to the place where I was going to do the image, there wasn't no source. You know, the first thing that the GPT told me, you can't prove that there wasn't no images online. And you know what? I was so mad. You know what I typed in the prompt box? I called bullshit. I wrote it just like that, BS. And you know the reason why I wrote it in there? Because I challenged the GPT to go out and find me one picture of him with one black person, with a group of black people online. Anywhere online. While he was, and I put the parameters of while he was a state representative. And you know what it came back? I don't have any. I can't find any. And you know what artificial intelligence does when you do that and you put them in a bind? Either they're gonna stop the conversation or they're gonna move on to, they're gonna tell you, well, even though I couldn't find it, what if somebody came up with one? It's a possibility. But in this day and age, when we're running for office, being in the state House of Representatives and being there in a public figure, you would think there will be one. What I tell you about facts and evidence. See, I'm not attacking the man. I'm just putting out facts and evidence for my people so they can make their decision based, when they go in there to vote, that's their decision. That's not mine. And I'm looking at my time because I've been on this a long time. That's not my decision. That's between you and what you put on that paper down there. I can't account for anything that you do, but base your decision on facts. He did not become relevant until Jasmine Crockett entered the picture. Then I want to tell you, I got to tell you the whole thing. I can't break it up in pieces because I did 2 or 3 stories on this. If you don't believe me, go back and look at my podcast And I was called Two Gents Podcast at that time. I'm still Two Gents Podcast, but I can't do the stories like I'm doing now because I need to have my space. And this is my space. It's cause, let me get out of the way. Just real talk for Black people. Sit in your space. That's the reason why I'm here. I don't care what nobody else is doing out there. I don't try to prescribe to what they're doing, but what I try to do is get to my people and inform them, help them make informed decisions, help them decide what's right for them. Not this propaganda that I had up on the screen where he show up and he takes photo ops and he has these controlled audience. Pastor Regan talks about this all the time, and I'm going to talk about it right now. Pastor Regan says, have you ever looked at the name of the supermarket that he does it, that he's doing this commercial on, where he's actually going shopping? It's a couple of things in that commercial that's just not right. Pastor Riggins points it out. Red and white. You know who he's trying, I think it's the name of the store, but you know who he's trying to get there? Trying to pull some of those Republicans from the other side. I'm not saying that that's deceptive, but I'm just telling you about these photo ops. And if you don't agree with me, I can show you supporting information. He goes into the store. He's carrying a bag of groceries. He's coming out of the store, telling you about all the stuff that he's did when he was actually a state representative, all the bills that he voted on. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why that doesn't correlate with who he is right now. I'm not saying it's a lie, but somebody else wrote those bills. He didn't introduce those bills into state. He didn't do the work what bills did he introduce during his time at state? I know y'all think I'm being particular. But if you go to my other show on Tuesday nights, let me share something with you. I congratulated a man that's not even elected into the Congress or Senate of Louisiana that wrote what's called a ghost bill. It was introduced into the system and it passed. The governor signed off on it already. It's a working bill. So you mean to tell me as a sitting congressman, the only thing that you can tell me doing a tape is that you supported and voted on other people's bills? What did you do for the people that sent you to Congress? Some things are just right there. Some things are just connecting the dots. Some things are just from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some things are sit right there in front of your face. And they expect you just to roll over. I'm not going to leave this side of the video because I'm going to rename this video. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to rename it when it goes to YouTube. Next day, after the election. Never seen it done before. Never in all my life. No, I hold a little bit of clout as far as age. Probably not knowledge, but I hold a little bit of clout as far as age. I can show you all this gray hair and stuff. It matches on top. But the real reason why I'm saying that is because I never in my lifetime seen somebody come on the air and claim victory like they did over Jasmine Crockett. Claim victory and make clear statements. We didn't need the black vote to beat Jasmine Crockett. Let that sink in. We did not need the black vote to beat Jasmine Crockett. You know, the thing about that is black people, that's a young sister. Yeah, they beat him. but they took a national campaign that they would run for a president or somebody. Just think about any offices out there that's like a vice president or a president. They took that campaign and put it behind this dude and lined him up against Jasmine Crockett. And it wasn't, let's just be clear. She knew she had a battle with the Republicans in front of her. She knew what she was facing. She knew that they could have came after her any kind of way that you want to. And that's fair politics, you know, one Democrat against a Republican, attacking another Republican. But what's not fair is when your own party come behind you and take you down. When your own party doesn't put the kind of money that they put into the other candidate and take you down. When your own party doesn't support you the way that they did the other candidate, that's not fair. And you say it. I know it's coming. But you say, oh no, I just don't like Tallarico. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Let me tell you, it ain't as much as Tallarico. It's not about him as a person. It's not about him as a person. It's what they did behind the scenes to make him the person that he is today. Oh, you want to talk about connecting the dots? Go. Can't prove it. But since I can't prove it, that doesn't mean I can't say it. You got a president in office that says stuff all the time. And since we're going to be fair about stuff, Harvard to Harvard connection. Draw that, dot those lines. Draw one connection to the other one. You say, well, why does that matter? Because it matters because stuff that's done off books. I got this guy, I got this student, or I had this student out of Texas to run for office, and he's been down there, he's in state office, he's Hispanic, he's got a good track record down there, ain't never visited the state of Texas one time. But you call somebody within the party, and the party manages to get a campaign going where I can't. I'm gonna help y'all today because I'm gonna help you out because I need to help you out. It's a tape floating out there with too many endorsements on it. I'm gonna say that of one person. You didn't endorse the other person, but you endorsed this person. You didn't know about the other person that was in Congress, but you endorsed this person. You didn't later come back and say, you know what? I know it's a race out there. I think it's going to be a tough race in Texas because, you know, you got a sitting congresswoman running against a person that's in Texas. You never came back and cleaned that up because you had an agenda in which you were trying to go, and your party, your group of people got behind that train, and you wanted to push that. But that's fine. I'm with that. That's cool. But here's where I draw the line. At what cost? So you want, I guess you just want to sell blackness when it's your type of blackness. But when it's blackness as a whole, or comes with a mind, or comes with a thought, or comes with a fact, because you can talk about it all you want to, but I never heard anybody come back and dispute the facts that she rolled out on stage. See, that's a difference. It's a difference when they can come back and tell you that where you was wrong, but they hated the way you did your presentation because it wasn't their style. But so they want to reel you in. And let me tell you something. Before I even knew that Jasmine Crockett was running for this office, before any of this came into play, I heard a guy tell, I'm trying to think of the interviewer. His brother is, I think it's one of the Como brothers. I'm not for sure. One of the Como brothers that used to be on TV. I heard an interviewer from the DNC tell him that they will table a candidate that they don't think like them, and they didn't have no problem with it. This was before Jasmine Crockett. So this is something that you can go out and research on your own. I'm not putting this information out there where it's not proven. They will table a candidate within their same party. And I think it was I'm gonna call it. I think his name is James Carney. He's an older white guy, and I'm not for sure about the name. He's an older white guy. He wears glasses. He was involved in politics heavy. And him and the DNC chairman got into it because he said you cannot do that to your own party members. They got into it. They had the biggest argument. And it wasn't about James Tallarico. It was about the Democratic Party, how they killed their own progress because they didn't like the message of what this person was saying. And here's the bigger picture of everything that I'm saying to you right now. Do you think, within your right mind, do you think that everybody that put money into Tallarico to go past where Jasmine Crockett was, all those PACs and that was out there that put money into to get him past her, do you think they ain't gonna expect nothing in return when he gets into office? Let that sink in for a minute, because some of us, we get angry when we hear certain things, but when it sinks in, they expect something. Have you ever paid money for something and didn't expect something in return? You sit down with a salesman to buy a car all day long, but at the end of the day, when that salesman says, okay, we agree with the price, here's your car. They're giving you a car in return. I'm just using a simple analogy because I'm trying to show normal people that it's something expected when money is spent on the table. And it may not come that day, but it's going to come down the road. When they're sitting in their office and maybe something is out there that that they're against, that they want to vote against, but the party is not with them. So you need to vote in the interest of the party to make sure that it passes. It's time out for that. Wait a minute. Let me just say this. It's not time out for that because they just allow anybody to spend money anywhere they want to. So our election process has sold out for money. If you don't believe me, go out there and research it. Pastor Riggins talked about it last night. Byron Glass talked about it last night. They sold out. They don't care where the money comes from, as long as they get their candidate. And you know what happens with money? I don't even want to go here, but I'm going to break it down for you. There's very few people that look like you in the same skin color that has a lot of money, that can take the amount of money that it takes to put a candidate in office. So what does that tell you about us running in the future? If you can get that money behind you, you good. That's the same thing they did with Tallarico. They put money behind him. They put effort behind him. They didn't put the same effort as they did into Jasmine. And as Pastor Riggins always remind me, we're not talking about Jasmine no more. She already lost. That's what they want you to forget it. It's over with. Can't forget it. Not when this happens. Not when they show up in your city. Not when you look at pictures and it looks like, I guess he's cringing because to me he looks like he's looking for the exit. You can't do that to the black people. You can't do that to black people. You can't continually do that to black people and expect them to just get on board. I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna add this one to the stage before I get out of here. I think I had that one on. But I'm going between these two images. There was a couple more images that I could have got out there. And I'm going to tell you this. We got plenty of Mexican food places in Pearland. We even got some Italian food places. We even got loads of seafoods out here. We got so many other places that he could have went to. And I'm sorry if I didn't call your name. I'm sorry. We got wings and things. People be standing up there waiting on their order. We got, he could have went to Buc-ee's. We got Buc-ee's here in Pearland. Right off the freeway. How come he didn't go over there? Black people need gas too. You got black people sitting behind Buc-ee's in Pearland in Teslas that you could have walked up to with your cameras if you actually wanted to make a good point. I'm just putting it out there. But see, when a kingpin knows a spot and they know that they can sell us, make an image and have you take that image and run with it, it's different. It's different. It's different. I'm going to just say it like that. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm coming on 46 minutes, and I hope I haven't did nothing but put out evidence of what happened, what's happening here. Because when you come into my city and you don't allow me to make comments on a picture that you post on Facebook, you take the comments out of it, this is what you get. I'm not the only person out here with this type of setup. There's more people out here. I just happened to be going on at 1 o'clock p.m. after I seen that. And after I built all them posts, the posts that I had. I can do this. The average person can't do this. I can do this. And I'm going to tell you and I'm going to call you out every single chance I get. Because if I don't call you out, you go around thinking that you can just manipulate the black vote and you can do anything that you want to do with it. And just like you did when he was running against Jasmine Crockett, you didn't court us. You didn't make us relevant. I didn't see any of those pictures when you were running against Jasmine Crockett out there because you did not want to identify with black people. You know why? Because the same people that you were courting may not have liked black people for you to be involved with black people. So you make sure that you kept the two apart. Oh, you didn't think we knew that, did you? You thought you was running this thing and ain't nobody gonna ever bring it up. You thought that when they sit you down, I got some minutes now. See, I can talk about this. You thought that wasn't nobody never gonna see that tape of that young lady telling the story about you leaving Texas, being invited by some woman up in New York City, and then you coming back, they had you slated to run for governor. But when you came back, your objective was totally different. You wanted the Senate seat. Somebody told you, if you run for the Senate, I'm going to get behind you. If you run for the Senate, I'm going to get behind you. But if you run for the governor, I can't get behind you. And that was a group of y'all. She called a couple of names, Beto O'Rourke, a couple of other people that was there that was, set up to play the whole game all the way through. A fair plan, playing chess. But you come back and you corrupt the whole game because you got on board with what somebody else told you to do. Oh, I played the tape. I'm not playing it today because I've been on here too long trying to get people to get smarter about the people that they put in office. And see, let me share something with one thing that I know about the Democratic Party, and it's true. See, what Democrats do is they tell people that if you don't vote for my candidate that I put before you, it's a vote for somebody else. But what if that candidate hasn't done anything for you? What if that candidate you never knew before he ran against somebody black? You knew her track record. You knew she was fighting for everything under the sun. You knew she was sitting on committees up there. You knew when she was running, she was flying back and forth from DC back to Texas. But see, even when she started running, she didn't expect nobody to come on her side. Now that you done got your end goal and you done got all the way up there, they telling you you can't get elected unless you come back and get the black vote. They knew that going in, but they was willing to sacrifice early to get you there. But see, your sacrifice of a black person is starting to explode on you. So now they got these kingpins. It's probably one up in Dallas. It's probably one in San Antonio. It's probably one in every city that you go to in the state of Texas that can take you directly to the black community, a controlled black audience. Oh, you want, what's that club where they, these people my age, what is it called? It's an old name of a club, and they be out there dancing. They be doing all kind of stuff. I don't know what they be doing. They act like a bunch of crazy people, but most of them are professional peoples, are working class people around the state of Texas. So if you want to go somewhere, I'm gonna get the name of the club. It's just it's been around Houston. I just can't name it. But those are people that's been around for a while. Then they have TSU. Don't get in a controlled audience. Just sit down with a bunch of students at TSU and let them ask you questions. Got a couple of universities around here. Go to the University of Houston. Don't structure your audience and then expect then film what you want to film and release it and edit it any kind of way that you want to. No, sit down with them. Most of all, announce where you're going to be. If you're going to be here in the city of Pearland, I might have wanted to go. Ask you a few questions. I'm not recording. Y'all recording, so you can take them out whatever way you want to. You didn't have to answer none of my questions. But I might have wanted to go. We even got a paper source that's in Pearland right now. I just threw it away in the trash because I don't use paper. But a newspaper that goes through Pearland right now. That comes right out in front of my house. I didn't see anything about that James Tallarico showing up at Mickey's because you controlled your audience. You use these kingpins and you think that that's the way you're going to get elected. I'm sorry to tell you, that's not how black people do it. And there's too many people out there. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to let you know one real quick. Candace Weber, Facebook page. She's not a fan of yours. And she lets you know it. Has a lot of followers. Why don't you go out there with Candace Weber? I'm calling her name out. Gary Chambers. He was on with Chuck Rocha the day afterward. They were the ones that said that you didn't need the black vote. They didn't seek the black vote doing any of that. I got the video. See, that's one thing about the internet, and I don't think they know as much about you as they think, because it's one thing about the internet, you can say something and it'll show up years later. Because when you made your cringe comments, as you said, brought a new word into play. When you made your cringe comments, as you said, that was some history that nobody knew about. But it was brought to the forefront. I've been building up to this point all during this show. Because, see, I like to get people prepared for what's coming. If you sit in your space long enough, you'll know that I'm going to come with something at the end to convince you of my point that I was making from the start. I don't have to bring it out right in front of you right now. I don't have to do it right at the front, so then you'll have something to say. But I can do it right now. because I'm running up on my time, and I know that I got an audience out there that's listening to me, and they know I don't play. I don't bite my tongue. Look at this picture. You know what I told you about patterns, establishing patterns? This is showing a pattern that you pursue. This is establishing patterns because you was at Mickey's in Pearland for that very reason, for a photo op, and you had plenty of props up there. See that picture right there? The highest of the highest of black men just opened up his place in Chicago. I didn't see you there. I didn't see you show up. But you know the reason why you didn't show up? You know the reason why you didn't show up? Because he didn't know who you were before this. And he then spoke of you 2 times, both of them on video, before this photo op took place. And I'm gonna tell you something that the most people gonna be upset with me about to no end. This is not just a photo op. Do you know when those people go out of their way and they travel to a certain distance and they come to a certain place where they're meeting certain people? Do you know that they get paid for showing up? That money is comes through bundlers. It comes through packs. Comes to those other packs out there. But do you know it's illegal now? It's illegal now. It doesn't have a limit on what you can do. So anybody can run for office. And it wasn't like that before. Anybody, they didn't have, they used to have limits which kind of control what was going on in a certain environment. But if they take those handles off, what does that say about our election process? What does that say about as we go into the future? Well, let me see if I can get it. I don't know if I have it because me and Pastor Riggins, we had a discussion almost on this same thing the other night. And we debated about the numbers and everything, and we talked about it. And I had that right at the top of I hate doing this during the show. I hate going back just to make a point during the show. But sometimes you have to do it. Pastor Riggins and me, I know where it's at right now, so I can go get it. But I'm gonna close on something else. I need y'all to understand that I'm changing the name of this show, but I'm gonna close on something else because I need you to understand that you can't. I don't know how to say it. When we were young, now I'm just using it in the terms that we had when we were little. You can't punk us. You can't punk us. You can't punk the black folk because we care about our own. We've had to stick together so long to just get where we're going. And that map up there shows you something from something that me and Pastor Reagan showed last night. The map of the U.S., not just Texas down there in the purple, but a map of the U.S. It's a lot of blue states out there. It's a lot of red states out there. But only 27% of the Republicans voted in the last election. 27% of the black voters voted in the last election. 45% are undecided. And you say, well, Ron, why does that make a difference? Because the other side of that 45% could go on either one of those sides. But if somebody's coming out at 45%, they may be in the 45% because they're upset with the system that is in place. But when they come out, I want them to be an educated voter. I want them to know the facts. I want them to understand the reason why they're voting, the reason why they're trying to make a difference, that they're no longer in the 45% when they come out, that they're in a position to help themselves. And you say, well, Ron, why does that make a difference? I'm gonna go back to this because I want to leave with this up on the stage. Why does that make a difference? Because the reason why it makes a difference for people that's out there, for people that's being elected into office, is because if you know the facts, if you can prove, if the images show you a story, or if the pattern creates a truth, then you know how to vote. So the reason why I'm taking you down this road, and I'm here now, I'm reaching my point at which I'm getting off of here, is because I'm gonna show you on my next post on Facebook, all my medias, Facebook pages I have out there, what true nonpartisan politics look like. Not somebody setting you up to win. Not somebody setting you up. Didn't need a kingpin. A person made a decision and he stuck by it. Where he was, he could have shut down the whole place. It happened during COVID. So you might as well get ready for it, because I'm coming with it. Because just like you're going to come at me and tell me I'm just a hater because of his race, no, I'm a hater because of the system in which he got in place in. If I seen James Tallarico today, I could shake his hand. But I don't like the system that they used to get him where he is. So when you I got one more thing. I'm sorry, because I forgot this all the way through. See, we had our first black mayor elected in the city of Pearland. And I've been going on the line everywhere. He don't know nothing. He can't do this. He has to pay people to do this and do that. And he don't know when to say the pledges of allegiance and all the rest of that. And he's just lost. Black man, first black man. They don't give him a chance for anything in the world. They haven't given him a chance. Quentin Wills is his name. Go Google it. Google it. First black mayor in the city of Pearland. The real reason why I want to bring that up, because that just goes to show you, when I moved to Pearland, I knew what I was moving into. I knew where I was moving to. I knew the people that were already there. But you would think since I moved to Pearland that it had changed. No, they all on Facebook. They all on social media. People are upset that don't look like me. But here's what I tell them. He was duly elected, duly sworn in, and if he never gets it, the way you want him to get it, he still got the title of mayor to his name. He's the mayor. That's going back to having a seat in the room. It just so happened that he has the head seat in the room. It wasn't like he didn't pay his dues. He ran on the old mayor that had almost been there his whole life, from city council to mayor. He spent his whole life. The last name was Reed. I forgot what his first name was. Then the next mayor came in, and he was there for a while. The same black person ran against him. He lost. He lost against Reed. Then the same person ran again, and he won. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Ain't nothing you can do about it. You can go on social media all you want to. You're not going to change his title as mayor. You can criticize him. You can do whatever you want to. He still is the first black mayor of Pearland. And The reason why I'm pointing it out is because that was the city that they chose to come into. So if you don't think it's a setup, listen to the video. I'm gonna change the name of the video because I can't put it out like I want to right now. I'm gonna have to go back and edit, make my SEOs line up with what I'm saying. Before I get out of here, I just want to say this is not an attack against James Tallarico. This is an attack against the system that came behind him to be a sister, a black person that looks like me. If they would have put half of what they put behind Tallarico into Jasmine Crockett, we wouldn't be having this discussion today because she has something that Tallarico never had. She has the black vote. She has the black vote. You're trying to get it by selling us this BS here. And I'm gonna call it every time that I see it. I said it like this on the one of the last podcasts I was on. If you go to an event and you don't watch where you stepping and you step in shit, I don't care how much you wipe your shoes on that grass. I don't care how much water you get on them. You're gonna still have that same shit on your shoes when you leave and when you get home. And that's what you did. You stepped in a bunch of shit. And that smell is still following you. I'm done. I'm going to say thank God for just giving me this platform, because not everybody has this type of platform set up. You can get it. It's simple. But right now, when you did something like what you did earlier, I have an opportunity to voice. I'm a voting citizen like everybody else. Free speech. Y'all take care. I enjoyed you. For the people that joined me today, that went through this whole process, that understood what I was saying, because I got a text in the background from one of my friends and followers when I was talking. They say, "Speak, Ron." See, some people like to hear the truth. Some people like to be lied to and then deal with the repercussions later on. Some people like, tell me what I got up front and I'm going to go from there. Hey, I'm out of here. Y'all be good. I enjoyed it. Sitting in your space. Just real talk for black people. That's why I left that image up. Let me put mine up so you can see it. I want to put mine up and remove this one. No, I'm gonna leave you with that image up there. That's good. Have a good one. Take care. I enjoyed it.